Creek Gaming.
Hey guys, welcome back to Little Creek Gaming and Heavy Rain episode 2. This is 2 years on from the events of Jason's death, and as you can see, Ethan's not looking too good right now, and you can't really blame the man. There's Sean. He's now a lot older, or 2 years older basically.
Hi,
Yeah,
Sean.
I guess he's the same age Jason was when he died. Sean isn't doing too good either, to be honest. He's very, very withdrawn and introverted. He's not the same kid that we saw before, and I imagine it must be a very, very difficult thing to do, impossible thing to do even, to go from what was to what is. How do you repair your life or get back to normality after a loss and an event like that? But I guess after going through something like that, there is no normality anymore, at least in terms of what used to be. Now, as you can see, the tone of the game has now changed. We've gone from very bright, vibrant colours to, well, let's be honest, it's looking very glum and gloomy right now, and this is the tone that will remain throughout the rest of the game, at least 99.9% of it, depending on what ending you get. Now this is where Ethan is living now. Basically he is separated from his wife. He's not living in the same kind of house that he did before. It's in a very run-down part of the city. It's a complete flip from what we've seen before in every possible way. Now, in order to do this section right, we have a schedule here: 4:30 snacks, 6 o'clock homework, 7 o'clock dinner, 8 o'clock bed. I personally think that 7 o'clock is a bit late for dinner. I can't wait that long. But this is what we need to do in order to get this right.
Here, Sean. Here's your snack.
Thanks, Dad.
Now, I have to be honest, this particular section of the game I don't tend to mess around on. Unless it was for a trophy. I'm pretty sure, if my memory is correct, there was a trophy for getting Sean to bed late, or maybe not doing homework, or something along those lines. Now, I've been thinking about what kind of playthrough I'm going to have. In the previous video I said that I don't know how to play this in terms of what ending I want to get, and I figured rather than box myself into a corner by choosing one or the other, you know, messing around or taking it seriously, I've decided just to play by ear. If there's a situation that comes up that I want to take seriously, like this one, I'll do it. If I want to fuck around, I'll do it. And we'll see what we end up with at the end. You always remember those days when you're a kid, you know, you spend all day doing schoolwork, and then you go home only to find that you've got to do more schoolwork. Okay, so let's get dinner ready for 7 o'clock. Now this is going to be a full-on dad dinner. I'm sure we've all had experiences with those, where your mum is out or she's working late and it's down to your dad to cook your dinner. And he would cook really basic, simple dinners. Very nice dinners, they did the job, but like beans on toast with cheese or something, you know. I've got to be honest, I've made a few dad dinners in my time, but I do have very fond memories of my dad's dinners. Now, Sean's got a bit of a cold coming on, so after his dinner I'm going to get him some medicine. Now, one thing I always notice in this moment here is that when you see him put the pizza slice on the plate, look at the side. Can you see it? It's green. It's green. What the fuck?
Come now, Sean. Your meal is ready.
Now, while Sean's having his dinner, we're going to check out the front page of the local paper, which relates to the origami killer. The origami killer strikes again, 7th victim identified. Now hopefully we give him the right medicine, and not laxatives like last time.
Thanks, Dad. Dad?
Yeah?
Why do you look so sad?
I think I just need some time to get back to the way things were.
You know, Dad, what happened to Jason wasn't your fault.
Good night, Sean.
Now basically Ethan has a problem, and his problem consists of having blackouts. He wakes up at the same corner but he always wakes up with an origami figure in his hand. Carnaby Corner North. And now we enter to the story a man called Scott Shelby. Now Scott Shelby is a private detective. He's been hired by the victims' families, or the origami killer victims' families, to investigate the murders and try to solve the case. Now Scott Shelby is played by a guy called Sam Douglas. I think I'm remembering his name correctly. The actors in this game do an amazing job, but for me Sam Douglas is by far the best. He's the highlight of the game in my opinion. So we're here to meet Lauren Winters to try and get some information. Laura Winters had her son killed by the origami killer. Now Lauren naturally isn't too keen on wanting to talk about the murder. Let's be honest, we can all probably understand why. So in order to get her to talk, we've got to be smart about this.
Lauren Winter?
Sorry, I only see clients by appointment.
Wait.
It's $50. I don't kiss and I don't do any weird shit.
Oh, that's what I came here for. Now I've got 10 minutes. She's already started the timer. She could at least give me a chance to get my dick out.
Actually, I'm not a customer. My name is Scott Shelby. I'm a private detective. The families of the victims of the origami killer asked me to investigate the murders. I came here just to ask you some questions about Johnny.
I already told the police all I know and have nothing to add. Leave me alone.
I know what you're going to do.
Oh yeah? You know what it feels like to find your own son's body on a wasteland? I'm sorry, I don't believe you have the slightest idea what I'm going through, Mr. Shelby.
The killer is walking around free as we speak. He'll kill again if he's not arrested.
Johnny's dead, so what difference does it make?
If we don't find the killer, there'll be other mothers who find their son's body on a deserted wasteland. But you're right. Why should you care? It's not your problem anymore, right?
What do you want to know? He used to go play with the neighborhood kids after school. It was pouring down something awful that day. I'll never forget it. All his friends came home around 5. All except him. You want one?
No thanks, I quit.
That's brave. His body was found 5 days later with an origami figure in his hand and an orchid on his chest. Time's up, Mr. Shelby. I hope you got what you wanted. Now get out of here.
So we finally got her to talk. Not an easy thing for her to do, but there is a way that we can get her to come back into the story later on.
Well, if you remember anything, the smallest detail, give me a call.
Now, unlike Ethan's money in the mall, I can't quite remember which pocket his asthma pump's in, and it's always in the last place you look.
Lauren! Lauren, open up, baby! It's me!
What are you doing? I already told you I don't want to see you.
Sorry, gal, but I really wanted to see ya.
Now it's time to save Lauren from this complete arsehole. Now Scott Shelby can really take care of himself.
What do you want, asshole?
Lauren, is everything all right?
She's just swell. Now beat it, loser!
Fuck it, we're kicking the door in and we're gonna kick this guy's ass.
If you're looking for trouble, you found it. I'm gonna beat the shit out of you. Oh!
Boom.
Are you alright?
Better than him, I guess. Who is he?
An ex-client who thinks he owns me. He was getting violent, and I told him I didn't want to see him anymore.
Well, you should be careful. He'll probably be back. Sorry about the mess.
Mr. Shelby,
Yeah.
thanks.
And that's how we get her to come back later on. And now we have Norman Jayden. He's one of the playable characters in the game. Now Norman Jayden is a profiler for the FBI, and now basically he's been asked to come here to this city to aid the local police in their investigation of the Origami Killer. He's very cold and very nervous. Now basically, just like most characters in this game, in fact, well, all of the characters even, Norman Jayden has problems of his own.
Agent Norman Jayden, FBI. You got a badge or something, Mr. Jayden?
Well, Norman, it would help if you got that out straight away so we can get straight in there, you know?
You can pass.
Very sloppy. Now in a moment we're going to meet a character called Sergeant Blake. I think his first name's Carter Blake. When I first played this game I hated this guy, but I gotta be honest, after a while he kind of grew on me because whenever he's around it's just so much fun.
Video memo recording, Agent 47023, Norman Jayden, Tuesday, October 4th, 2011. Time is 8:14 a.m. Lieutenant Blake, I'm Agent Norman Jayden from the FBI. I went by your office this morning, they told me you'd be here.
Now, if you're looking for rain, dead bodies, and highways, you come to the right place. Mike, will you tell that asshole with the bulldozer to stop for 5 minutes? I can't hear myself think here.
Right away, Lieutenant.
I do like Blake, but once again when you first meet him he comes across as an arsehole, and yes he kind of is, but
So,
whenever he's
What
around
happened?
it's
Some guy taking his
So much
dog
fun.
for a piss found a body about 6 o'clock this morning. We don't know much more right now. Based on what we've seen, looks like the work of the Origami Killer. Any news on the coroner?
he's on his way, Lieutenant.
We've been waiting for an hour, for fuck's sake.
There are a lot of people on the crime scene. Aren't you afraid your men might destroy some clues?
You don't find proof sitting behind a desk. We're not in the habit of trampling things into the ground, even if we're not in the FBI.
that's exactly what
No,
you and your guys
no,
are
of
doing
course
right now.
not. That's not what I meant.
Tony, I don't want to see a single shit-stirring journalist within a mile of here. You got it? My men are going over the scene with a fine-tooth comb. If the killer left anything behind, we'll find it. Listen, I'm a little busy
We'll find
here.
it underneath their
Why don't we
shoes.
discuss all this a little later, back at the office?
Oh, no problem. I understand. Do you mind if I have a look around?
Be my guest. Hey, Jade, you come and see me if you find anything, okay? We're on the same team now.
First thing we're going to do is we're going to check the tent over here, which has the body of the kid inside it.
Harry, comment. The victim is lying on his back. No visible signs of violence. The victim is Jeremy Bowles, declared missing 5 days ago. See reference file. Superficial wound on the right thigh. Blood analysis suggests it could be post-mortem. Probably a scratch that occurred when the body was being moved. The blood report indicates an advanced and long-lasting state of exhaustion. A small origami figure in the right hand. Fingers were probably closed after the time of death. An orchid was placed on the victim's chest. His face is covered with mud, like the other victims.
Now from the body we can follow the orchid trail. Each victim of the Origami Killer has an orchid placed on his chest.
Harry, comment. Orchid pollen detected. Probably from the flower left on the body. Harry, comment. There are traces of blood on the fence behind the railroad line. It comes from the victim. The killer came this way with the body and probably grazed it on his way through the fence.
And now we will find tire tracks.
Harry, comment. Tire tracks on the side of the road behind the railroad line. It may be the killer's car.
I'm heading back to the office. You staying?
No, I've seen enough. I'm leaving too.
I've got to be honest, I never liked that therapist.
I know it's not easy, but you've got to start over, Ethan. You're not responsible for what happened.
It's my fault Jason is dead. He'd still be alive if I'd been looking out for him.
It was an accident. Accidents happen every day.
But that makes it a
Can't
whole
blame
lot
yourself
easier.
forever for your son's death. How is Sean?
Distant.
He's a very solitary kid, you know, very focused within himself. He's really close to his mother. With me, he's more distant.
And what about you, Ethan? What do you feel?
I stopped living at the same time Jason did. And that car ran into us.
Look at where the therapist is looking at him.
Else you wanted to tell me, Ethan?
Everything about this therapist is wrong. Never liked him. I'm not going to mention the blackouts or the schizophrenia. I'm going to keep my mouth shut, I think.
No. No.
That's the end of this session. We'll continue this conversation next week. You were lucky, Ethan. It's very rare to survive such a traumatic accident.
I don't exactly feel lucky, Doctor.
So here we are at the park with Sean. Now I've got a feeling, because we put Sean to bed a bit after 8, because it was 8 o'clock when I actually told him to go to bed, but he should have been in bed by 8. So I'm assuming he was late for school.
How did things go at school today?
The teacher yelled at me for being late again. She's gonna send me home the next time it happens.
I'm sorry about that, Sean. Next time, we'll really pull it together, okay?
Come on kid, let's go play.
I haven't been on a seesaw in a long time. What do you think?
Yeah!
Okay, he's perked up quite a bit there. Not 100%, but it's an improvement. Must feel good for Ethan to hear him laugh again. So we're going to keep this momentum going.
What about that merry-go-round? I bet I can push you so fast you won't be able to stay on it.
Now the time is 4:15. It's very important that we make note of the time here.
Go on, Dad, as fast as you can.
And what Sean's wearing. Maybe I shouldn't have said that to anyone who hasn't played this before.
Come on, faster, faster! Whoa, I think my head is spinning.
Good training for astronauts, though. Looks like rain's coming. I think we better go.
Hey, Dad, can I have a ride on the carousel? Can I?
Sure. Go pick a horse and get on. I'll get a ticket. One, please. That's $1.
The guy in the ticket booth there, his voice kind of sounded like the guy who was at the reception at the motel where Scott Shelby goes to see Lauren Winters for the first time. Ethan, my friend, this is a very, very bad time to have one of your blackouts. Same corner once again. This is going to do a real number on Ethan's head, having to go through this again. I don't think your ex-wife's ever going to trust you again with the kids.